On May the 6th, 2023, the United Kingdom will see its first coronation in 70 years, and it's going to be expensive. In 1953, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation cost £1.5 million, which, adjusted for inflation, comes in at around £33.7 million today. And while we don't have an official bill just yet, the organisers of King Charles' ceremony estimate that it will cost over £100 million. And as the UK suffers a cost of living crisis with spiralling food prices, mass inflation, and a wave of industrial action, the cost of the ceremony has divided opinions. In response to the economic situation in the country, the King has proposed to slim down the celebrations.
Certainly the coronation is going to be shorter than it has been in the past. My name is Anna Whitelock and I'm a Professor of the History of Modern Monarchy at City University of London. Less of a long, meandering route through London, but rather a more efficient journey, perhaps, from the Abbey to the Palace. This reduces the cost. It also perhaps reduces the opportunity for protest, or even perhaps just a sense that there may not be as many crowds, perhaps, as there had been for the late Queen. So it's a conservative, cautious approach and an attempt, I think, as far as is possible, to be aware of that cost of living crisis.
Let's break down these costs. The Crown has said that the majority of the £100 million budget will be split between security, planning or orchestration, and decorations for Westminster Abbey. But on top of this, there are other costs that could be passed on to the taxpayer. Things like the cost of closing down roads and the estimated £2.3 billion price tag that the Centre for Economics and Business Research put to an extra bank holiday. However, some of the most expensive items from the coronation won't actually be paid for by the taxpayer.
So the coronation is, for many people, all around seeing the crown and the regalia, the orb, the sceptre. These are all owned by the state, by the crown. They are, of course, held and protected at the Tower of London on all occasions except for the coronation, where they are brought to the Abbey. So the monarch brings a lot of the stuff that is needed for the coronation, but there is, of course, a big bill for security, and that is paid by the taxpayer.
The same is true of the two immeasurably valuable coaches that will be used by the King in the celebration.
Certainly supporters of the monarchy will say the coronation day is a great advert for Britain, for the British Tourist Board, for Brand Britain.
The Crown has reported that the worldwide broadcasting rights more than cover the £100 million bill. In addition, there are the tourists coming to London who book hotel rooms, pay for public transport, and buy things like food and souvenirs. And then there are the more intangible benefits to the UK. The diplomatic relations built from inviting foreign dignitaries. And on top of all of this, pro-monarchists argue that the coronation builds the UK brand abroad, and that in itself is of enormous value.
That it will bring in a lot of tourists, that the image of Britain at its best, as some would have it, will be broadcast all around the world, and that will generate a feel-good factor, a sense of wanting to invest in Britain, to visit Britain, and will put Britain back on the global map. A day for celebrations and perhaps spending money for street parties and so on, but whether that really will add up to more than the cost of the coronation, I think that's a harder equation to square.
The real cost of the coronation is probably incalculable, and a lot of the value is going to come down to how you personally feel about the monarchy. So, let us know. Do you think that the coronation is worth the money?